Now you'll notice here what it says on page 196. I think that what Paul is talking about here in Romans must have something to do with the brain. And I know you guys are seniors. You've heard me talk a little bit about this in the past, but let me say it again. What he must be talking about here has to do with the relationship of the frontal lobe and the limbic system. Now don't forget about the very important area of the frontal lobe known as the prefrontal cortex. And then there's all that very important area of the brain called the anterior cingulate cortex. Many very important things happen in these areas of the brain. Now, you may not know this about the brain, and that is that there is a inverse relationship many times between frontal lobe activity and limbic system activity. And, well, I probably told you this before. I forgive me if I'm repeating myself, but, the frontal lobe has a lot to do with what we consume regarding our media. And, media on the brain. Get it? Okay, yeah, anyway. So, the media has a big impact. Now, I'm telling you guys, the fact that Levi, my son, he was raised in a way where we protected that frontal lobe, we fostered that frontal lobe, and he's graduated from Harvard with his MBA now at age 21, on to his PhD. And by the way, if you need any advice on how to develop that frontal lobe, he's now doing seminars on the brain and these sorts of things. But not just that. I don't know if you've heard that the cure for cancer came out, and my son Levi, he's the one at age 21 now who is the one that came up with the cure for cancer. And also, I should mention, he is getting married. As many of you know, Levi is going to be married this coming summer, and he's just such an amazing guy. I can't say enough good things about him, but it all came down to this thing about the brain and media and the frontal lobe, and that kid, he's just a genius. I'll tell you something. One thing I was thinking about regarding media and the brain is it's the importance of attentiveness. When you're able to harness the strength of that frontal lobe, you can have attention, you can pay it, you're not suffering from the attention problems, the deficits that we have in America today. These problems of impulse control and inattentiveness, because that frontal lobe is strong and you're able to maintain self-control and you're able to focus and do your studies and achieve good things like my son Levi has in these days. Well, I'll have to say, I've been at this for a little while now. I've been sharing on this subject for it's been quite a while, but I can't say enough about it. I can't stop talking about it because that's the brain. It's very, very important. The frontal lobe of the brain is something worthy of our contemplation on a daily basis to discuss the neuroscience of the 21st century. I can talk about this endlessly, and I've been talking about it endlessly, it seems, and my voice just does not get tired. But I got to say it one more time: the frontal lobe. Oh, how important it is! And I'll tell you something different. When it comes to the neurological function of a small child, what's going to happen in there? It applies to what happens in our brains as well. The human brain is always changing. It's very, I've told you this before, I'm sure, but I got to say it again. That limbic system, it can just rear its ugly head. It may get you down, it may come in there and just start controlling our behavior and so on. But, the different areas of the brain are worthy of our attention, of our study. And, as we're studying the book of Romans, this applies perfectly, as it does with every lesson that we have in this class. The brain is just worthy of our attention, of our discussion. And, if I said this before, I apologize, but, you guys, this is worthy of our focus, of our attention.